Smile for the camera, the latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. Spotify has released video podcasts everywhere in 180 global markets, they say. Spotify and Anchor's blog posts made in July have been updated. Until now, they've only been in 12 markets. The proprietary service launched in April. Now, the service only works for shows hosted with Anchor for playback within Spotify. Open video podcasts using RSS work across many other platforms, including Apple Podcasts. Podnews analysis of the podcast index suggests that there are now 53,000 video podcast shows on RSS. That number's up 38% year on year. Editing software Descript has launched a new version of the program. Descript Storyboard has more than 30 new visual and AI-powered editing features. The company's also announced a $50 million funding round. Well, Jay LaBeouf from Descript will be a guest on the Podnews Weekly Review podcast this Friday. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts, probably. In the UK, Octave Audio has renewed its partnership with Veritonic's brand Lift Technology. Zeno Media has partnered with SoundStack. Rode has released the NT USB Plus, a condenser USB-C microphone. The Guardian has launched noisycharts, a way, they say, of turning data into sound. This is their chart showing how Mark Zuckerberg's net worth has changed in the last 4 quarters, for example. If you've applied for a job with Jar Audio only to find that they want money, well, it's not them, it's just a phishing scam, they say. You should tell your friends about that. We link to more information in our show notes and our newsletter today. And we also link to the Duke Chronicle, who listened to 24 hours of podcasts and reveals 6 increasingly spicy hot takes. Here's one of them. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, they say, is the best podcast in the world. And thank you to Hear Singapore for becoming our latest supporter. Recorded in binaural, it takes you to different places in Singapore for a few minutes, letting you travel there without leaving home. You should be like Hear Singapore and support us at podnews.net/support or hit the boost button. In People News, Matt Martinez has been appointed as showrunner for the assignment with Audie Cornish. Martinez is responsible for all aspects of the assignment's show development, editorial and production for the podcast. He moves from the On Being podcast. The CNN podcast starts tomorrow. And in podcast news, The New Yorker is refreshing its politics podcast. The Political Scene is its new name, replacing Politics and More. It'll have new programming and new hosts. Not that there's anything going on in US politics at the moment. In the UK, The Guardian's Football Weekly was named Podcast of the Year by the Football Supporters Association. Podcast company Osher has launched a new podcast called Tips, How to Grow Your Podcast, hosted by Sarah Donnelly, an American comedian and podcaster. It's also available on YouTube. Our goal is to create 10-minute bursts of joy, clarity and inspiration for podcasters, says Odile Benifla, who's head of US at Osher. That's our goal too. And Ozark's True Crime is returning for a new season, focusing on the Feeney family murders. The first season of the podcast, The Springfield 3, surpassed over 1.5 million downloads. It's from Edit Audio and Anne Roderick Jones. And in our newsletter today, podcast ads in the wild goes to Shoreditch High Street in London. And that's the latest from our daily newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.